Hi, I'm Jeff Walker with Revtronik. Many of you are already familiar with our Revtronik wireless trailer tester. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to our new Loadtronik wireless truck tester. Let's begin. Here's a quick overview of the Loadtronik. In most cases, we're going to use this for commercial vehicles. However, for demonstration purposes, I've got this connected to my Nissan Murano. So here's the main components. This is a cart version. It allows us to install a battery, our main panel with gauges and display screen showing the current draw and the voltages. Underneath here we've got our connections to our vehicle, the power connections, and then if we have an air system, we've got the air hoses that come off of that. As you can see, I've got an adapter that goes over to plug into my four-way in the car. On the back of the unit, we have the connections for the trailer side. So again, the emergency side, the service side, and then the 7-way connector. Again, I've got a connector coming off, or an adapter coming off of that, and then I'm going to a test light. So you can see that it's blinking, and that coincides to my turn signal. And then, of course, we have our remote. And from that, we can see the voltages and current draws, and it indicates which circuit is activated. So from here, I'm going to get you to join into a Teams meeting that we had with the inventor, Jean-Francois, and he's going to give us a further explanation of the Loadtronik unit.
And they have like 200 trailers, more or less, and 150 trucks. So they kind of having 100 trucks. So they kind of hiring some broker to pull their trailer. Okay, so they had some problem in the past. Like the broker came into the yard and tell them, hey, your trailer have a problem. I'm braking only with my truck. I can feel it, and the problem coming from your trailer, because I did not have that problem yesterday with another trailer. And whatever the story the driver tells them is the best way to figure out what's going on and make sure they do the right test. They were disconnecting the trailer using our Revtronik devices, hook the trailer and test the trailer. So that's the first thing they start doing it. So once they're doing that and they figure out that the trailer is perfect with the Revtronik, they start telling to the broker that the problem coming from the truck, because the trailer by itself with the device working perfectly. And the broker keep telling them, no, it was working good and this and that. And so they asked me, they said, Jeff, you know, your device for the trailer is perfect, but we have that problem right now that so many broker tell us that our trailer doesn't work good, and we can prove them wrong. So that's the whole story behind the Loadtronik. That was the first request from the customer. So if you have a truck also and you want to test it because you're doing your inspection, yearly inspection sheet, and you also have something that is called output tester, and it's per TMC recommendation practice, RP 137, RP 141, RP 144, whatever. They have like 5 or 6 different recommend practice that you have to do. And so it's all those practice are what exactly does the vehicle sending to the trailer. So you have nothing to test that. Loadtronik have been built for that. So you have a truck, you don't have a trailer, you want to test what your truck sending to the trailer, you use Loadtronik. So, and after that, since we know how to test what's going on, we can also, in real-time situation, not only test, but see and send it back to the unit, and in real time, seeing exactly what's going to pass through from the truck to the trailer and diagnose both of the unit at the same time. So this is the plus value of the product that we did had it after. So first thing first, Revtronik is a wireless trailer tester. Loadtronik is a wireless truck tester. That's the whole thing. First thing first, you want to test a trailer? Now we all know that we need a wireless trailer tester. And then now you want to test a truck. How do you do it? Tell me another tool that can verify and simulate a trailer.
Well, I mean, so like a test light, just putting a test light in and checking, you know, kind of like what I've got here, and going with a, I've got a ground, I'm taking ground, and I'm taking, I'm plugged into a circuit. Now, I think the disadvantage that I can see right there is that it's not putting a load, right?
Yeah, and also, so it's all the same. It's you start exactly the same way as we start with the Revtronik 20 years ago. It's the same. Yes, you can do it with a test light. You can also light the switch with a switch in the front of the trailer, but you have to go back and forth. You want to test your flasher, you want to see if you have a short circuit, you're going to have to use a test light, use every single pin, you see if it's open or not, see if it's the good one that is at the right place. And after that, you have to get back in the car, making the left flasher get back in the back of the car, using your test light, test your 4 pins in a row, make sure you don't have any contact over there. And so it's all the same process. Exactly the same, but it's backwards. We use Revtronik to send it to the trailer. Now we use Loadtronik to receive from the car. So and all use the same mentality. If you want to really do it properly, how can you push on your brake inside the truck and see the pressure you send to the trailer? Tell me.
You can't. You got to have the machine. Now, is our Revtronik going to tell us the amperage available on each wire? Like when you're, let's say you turn your left signal on, is it telling you how many amps is it taking? Like I've had situations where it's got no amps, but it'll still light up an LED.
Yeah, exactly. And if you take a close look, I can see it from the screen right now. You see the 1, 2, 3, the 4 one, the one that's blinking right now. It should be like the right flash or whatever. Okay, we see we see it. Okay, you see the voltage. That this is new, and you're also gonna have it on the TT3, the upgraded version. You now seeing the white dot telling you that it's an intermittent voltage process right now. So you see the high voltage and the low voltage. So white tells you it's an up and down signal, and you see the up and you see the down of it. So and you also see the current consumption of that electrical circuit, 0.33 amp. And so now you know it's more or less the same as you put not a test light, sorry, but a multimeter at the end of a car. But the multimeter is so fast, you're going to see like 12, 6, 7, 12, 6, 0, because it's not have been created to show you the top and the low of it. And the new TT3 also going to have that feature. So you're now seeing the top and the low. So you know that when it's on, it's really on and the voltage is really good. And you also see when it's off that the voltage is low and really low. If you have a problem in your circuit, like corrosion and everything, you're going to see like 11 volt and 3 volt. So you now can see that range of good current consumption and voltage in real-time diagnostic. So that's one new feature of the Loadtronik and Testronic. So if you Jeff, use your phone again and screen zoom to that screen. Yeah. Okay. You have a button somewhere like load on number 2.
Down here?
Yeah. Load on. Put the load on.
I just press number 2.
Yeah. Load on.
There you go. Okay.
See the current? See the current? 6.8, 6.79, 76. So right now,
and look at the voltage has dropped out. So we've put a load on this circuit.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So
And
here's a question: is at some point can I do damage to my vehicle by doing this? So it's putting a load on that circuit now.
Is your vehicle running, Jeff? I'm sorry to interrupt. Is the van running, idling?
No, it's not.
So the battery is on the load, is getting drawn down to 9.1 volts is what I see. Now, if you wire up that vehicle, it should hold at 13.5 or 14, whatever your regulator and your alternator is set at.
Well, I think, let me do that. But I would also say that, I mean, my battery is certainly not at 9 volts. No. This is all just line loss. This is voltage loss through my connections. That's what I'm seeing. So that's right.
And yeah, so you hit right now. You see, I don't know. You lost the voltage right now. You turned it off or?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh.
Yeah, my turn signal's flashing. Yeah. But I've lost everything else is shut off. My test lights stopped going and the circuit stopped.
We don't see it. Does one of the light is flashing right now, or they are just light up? Because on the screen we see it flashing.
No, nothing's flashing.
Okay, remove the load off. Put it on back. No. It seems like you have you lost a contact in one of your connection, probably.
Okay. Let's have a little look-see.
Do you have any hot wires, something, or? No.
No. Well, let me reset this. I'm just gonna unplug that.
It started flashing back. No, I saw him flashing when you were touching something. Yeah, right now you're flashing.
Oh, okay. So I've got a bad connection here then, right?
Exactly. And you have right now you have the best demonstration you can have, because as soon as you put the loads in, we had that discussion like 5-10 minutes before we start putting the loads on, and you always have the lights flashing and everything was great. As soon as you put the loads on, you create a problem, and that problem will be created with a trailer only. You had exactly the demonstration of how important it is to put a load when you test.
Okay, so there is something going on, because so I can see that it's back
now
again.
It's back. You probably have some corrosion inside that connection. So when you test it with a test light, it's working. But when you put the loads in, you're going to create the problem. So that problem, if you have a trailer, you hook the trailer, you start from your home, you're going to do like 5-10 minutes on the road. And after that, you're going to have that problem because you're going to put the loads in with the trailer. So you can never see it without Loadtronik, because your Tesla won't fucking put any loads into that circuit like we did.
Yeah. Okay, so
it is exactly what it is. Yes, it's $2,000. I know. I know. But you can sit in your car with your remote, push on the brake, see the voltage and the current, put the loads on, put the loads off, make a flasher. You just sit in the car with the remote and you do all your tests in 2-3 minutes. That's it. That's Loadtronik. This is. Take the remote and sit in your car.
All right.
So now in your remote, you should see the left, you push on a button to open the screen.
Just any button?
Yeah, any button. It's just to light up the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Can you
so
see
you
that
see
already?
right now. Yeah, your flasher's working. Push on the brake pedal. You see left flasher going on, green, 12 volt. So you can see right now that you flash on the right side and you're open on the left side. So your brake pedal is working properly and you send 12 volt and you start from 0.23 amp to 0.41, if I'm right. I remove your foot. 0. Yeah, you see 0.3330. So your brake light consumes 0.1, more or less. So
Okay.
this is it. This is how you can test it. You know those pickup trucks, you have that brake adjustment with the I don't know, some of them they roll that way, some other they roll that way. You change from 6 to 10 volt. You know, you see a volt. You have that, Cliff, on your pickup. You know that brake.
I don't have one of those on my truck, but you mean the one that on the inside it feels the press of your pedal and it applies only a certain amount of electrical power to your brakes.
Exactly.
And it's like a rheostat.
Yeah, and you also can use that thing, and people just see numbers 6 to 10, and they don't know what this number is. It's voltage. So if you had that thing and you press on the pedal, you will see on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6 one you push on the pedal, you see 6. You should see 6 on that remote, and you can also turn the rheostat or whatever to adjust the voltage. And if it shows 6, you should see 6 on the remote. If you see 10, you should see 10 on the remote. You can play it right and see in real time if it's working good. You see the load button with that load? Yeah, push on it. So now you should see the current go really high. And you see what did happen? You lose the connection.
Okay.
Put the left flasher to see. Put the left flasher or the brake and just see what's going on.
Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, that's the left flasher.
Yep, left flasher can hold the current. You see? But the right one cannot. Put on the brake.
The brake.
You see, right now, even the brake cannot light up your right side of the vehicle. So that pins have a problem or corrosion or whatever, you know.
Okay.
So you can remove the load after that. So you're going to see remove the load.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it should go really low. And if in real time diagnostic, you would have a trailer hooked to it, the current that you will see on the left flasher would be the truck plus the trailer in real time in the middle of the wiring. So you have a truck and a trailer. You want to see, you see the lights is like, you know, how do you call that? It's not really high in
It's not bright. Not
it's not bright. It's like 10 or whatever. So what's the problem? Is it the connection? Is it the voltage? Is it the light? how do you do that? You cannot, you have to open, you see some people opening those electrical cord and pick with a voltmeter, trying to see the voltage that passed through the wire. And after that, you have all those wire that are picked, that the corrosion get into the system and everything, because you want to see the voltage of that wire. How do you do that? That's the only way, unless you have a Loadtronik.
I hooked up my truck and did this. Probably none of the plugs would work because I haven't put a trailer on my truck in 20 years.
Yeah. Well,
I would,
so
if I hooked it up, I'd find all the flats are all corroded and not passing power properly.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I'm going to go back and, oh, there it is. So yeah, there's just a, so it is, it works until I apply a load, and then the load is actually shutting that down. I'm not understanding why it would do that.
because it's an electrical principle. It's basic stuff. You have enough metal that touch together just to light up, and it's exactly when you have those big wire that only one wire is in, and you should have like 50 of those.
Yeah.
And so you use a test light. Oh, it's working, and lights is on, and everything's great. No, it cannot carry the load. So you
Okay,
get on the road with the trailer, and you fucked up.
Yeah, it's what means when you have a multiple strand wire and you maybe don't realize it, that most of the strands aren't connected. So you just have one or two little strands.
Yeah.
It only carries so much amperage. And then as soon as you start to load it, you lose it.
It depends. If you use your test light and if it's a corrosion problem, you're gonna have to scratch the surface, so yeah, it should light up again. And this is exactly what you do when you touch your plug and you move it. You scratch the surface so it's get back to life. And after that, you put loads in, and still the scratch is so small in the surface where you have all that corrosion that you're gonna lose it again until you really clean out all the round surface and have a good contact surface all around it. Now, after that, you're going to carry the load. I see that all winter long in Florida. The people were guessing with their plug, trying to figure out why I put the flasher, it doesn't flash and everything, because they don't use it enough. So all the pins are corroded, and they might have used a test light before leaving just to see testing and it's working. And they hook the plugs and they try to live with the car. It doesn't work because it cannot carry the current. That's the whole thing behind the Loadtronik, is put the load on the wiring. On a car, it's really basic. You have 4 wire. So you diagnostic right now the left, the right, and the brake flasher. You sit in your car, you test it, and you know if it's working by putting the load on every single of them. That's the only thing you can do because it's a car.
Yeah. Okay. So I've just turned on my headlights. That's illuminated the
12 volt, put the loads on.
Oh, okay.
6.5 ampere, 7 ampere, 9.9 volt. And you wait a little bit, you see if the plug can hold it. So right now, one of the things we can see, you don't have a ground problem. From your right flasher, it's not a ground problem because you can hold 7 ampere right now for a minute or more on your parking. So the ground and the parking are good. The black and the brown is good. So you really seems to have a pinpoint problem on your right flasher right now on that particular pin.
Corrosion on your pin on your plug.
Yeah.
Corrosion,
Well, there's
a bad wire that is only, as you said, like 20 core wire in, and you only have one that's touching the pin. So it can carry a really, really low current power.
Okay. So here's a question. So who's establishing how much load has gone on to this?
It's a resistance into it. So it should always be around 7 amp. Between 7 and 8, it's all depending on the voltage you send in. So if you start a car, you can have 13 point whatever volt. So you're
Well,
gonna have a little bit more load of it.
Let's okay. So go in here now. Oops. Hold on a second here.
Oh yeah, 14.4 volt. So the car is on right now. The light is on.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just try that load.
Yeah. You should see a better voltage right now, around 12, 12.5, whatever. It's basic standard voltage. You see? You see 8.5 ampere. The highest the voltage is, the highest the current is going to be, because you can carry more current. It's a basic resistance, so it's always going to vary between, if the voltage is really low, 7, 6.8, whatever amp, and when the voltage is really good and strong and high, you should be around 8, 8.5, 9. I don't know how you call it in English, but you know when you have two trailer back together, I think in Quebec we call it train. I don't know if it's the same.
So B trains, yeah.
Call them B trains or whatever, but
yeah. So
exactly. That trailer connected to trailer.
Yeah. So the first trailer, how do you test everything that's going to be sent to the second one?
Well, that's
a good point.
you put a Loadtronik,
and then you can tell your voltage and your available amp to the second trailer.
Yeah, and the emergency pressure, the service pressure. You can test the air leak system. You can test everything.
Wow. Well, that would be an interesting customer to speak to, because that must just drive them absolutely crazy trying to diagnose a problem with a B train.
Yep. You also have a problem into the B train. They are hooked together, and you say, "Oh, the fuck, where the problems coming from?" You can even put the Loadtronik in between them.
Yeah.
So you use the first trailer in the vehicle side, and you send the trailer side to the second B train. So in real-time diagnostic, you're going to see the pressure that going from one trailer to the other one. You're going to see when you apply the brake, the pressure you send from the trailer 1 to the trailer 2. You're also going to see all the voltage, the current that's going in. So you want to see if your truck have an air leak. When you send some pressure to a trailer, how do you do that? You have to put some glad end that are closed at the end, and it's a regulation to do that test. Nobody do it because they don't have the tools. They don't want to make that hand. So now you're using your truck. You put your both hands on the back of the Loadtronik emergency and brake. You sit down in the trailer with your remote. You put the emergency on. You push on the brake, and you're going to see the pressure that you send from the truck to the trailer, and you start your it's that 4 psi in 1 minute and 7 psi in 1 minute is a major and minor air leak. How do you test that? You use Loadtronik. Super easy. But put the two hands back, sit in the car, having your remote down. You don't see it right now because you don't have any air pressure in. But underneath, emergency. Emergency service. You sit in the car, put on the emergency, you're going to see the pressure, PSI, push on the brake pedal, and look at your watch for 1 minute. If you lose more than 4 PSI total, you're fucked. I mean, it's 7 PSI is a major. You don't even can put the truck out of the garage. It can go on the road.
So when I want to go back to the that load thing here. Is the load, we're applying the resistor or the load, is that going to all circuits? So here, I'm gonna turn on I'm gonna start up my vehicle.
I can answer to your question. If you have one circuit and you see 8 ampere, it's 1 ampere on that particular circuit. If you have 3 of them open like this, and you put the load on, you're gonna put 8 ampere of load on the ground pin. So it's gonna be like 333. You understand what I mean, or?
No, sorry, I kicked out because my Bluetooth kicked on there. So repeat what you just said there.
Okay, so it's a total load. So if you have one circuit and you see 8 ampere, you have 8 ampere on that particular circuit. If you have 2 circuit open, the load's going to be split in 2. If you have 3 circuit, the load's going to be split in 3.
I see. Okay. So right now, the way I've got it set up, I've got my headlights are on, and I've got my brake on. So all, which would be the equivalent. Yeah. Yeah. All of the lights are activated. So if I hit the load button now, then that's going to split. It's going to split that up.
Yeah. So
between all of those circuits.
Exactly. So you see right now you have 9. So you have 333.
Okay.
Because the load is on the ground, more or less. You know, the load is linked to the ground. So every single circuit that sends voltage into that devices have to be ground.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
And for example, right now, you see the 11.9, 11.9, 11.9. So you did so much, you know,
Well,
tests.
there's something interesting too. So, that's okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, no, you're right. Your right flasher can hold 3 amp, but cannot hold 8.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So it's corrosion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Load auxiliary. Okay.
That's down here. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a little bit difficult. That's more or less the hardest part to understand. And you don't have that problem right now because I saw you put a battery on that car. Is it right? Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. So right now, if you don't touch to nothing, you have no circuit on. So you have no power. If you have no batteries down on the car, you have no power that going into the Loadtronik. So the Loadtronik should be off. So by the way, your remote should be off because you have no power. So on a small car, on a big heavy duty truck, as soon as you turn the ignition on, you should have 12 volt on the ABS, the blue wire, as per rules. It's a rule. It's in the regulation book. So you do that first. If we were doing the same thing on a heavy duty truck, okay, you do the same thing. You sit in the truck, you want to test your truck. You sit in the truck, turn the ignition on, and right away you should see the blue wires came in and kick out the voltage because it's a rule. So now you want to test the light and you want to really put 8 ampere load on the light. But you have the blue wires on. How do you do that? Because you're going to split the current consumption between the blue and the gray and the brown. And that's not what you want. You will really want, as a customer, to put the 8 ampere on the load on the light. So you're going to push on load auxiliary off. In your case right now, it doesn't change anything because you have nothing on the blue. Okay.
Right.
So you put the load auxiliary off. The unit itself gonna use the voltage of the blue wire to stay on, but remove the blue wire from the resistance system. So that's why it's load auxiliary off. you remove the blue wire from the equation. So the screen's gonna stay on, the device is gonna stay on because your ignition is on, and you said, and from that, you can test all the system all independently, and you don't have any problem that the remote comes off and the remote comes on because you put the flasher on and you forget to stay the brown wires on. You need to power up the Loadtronik if you don't have a battery down. I'm not sure if that's the first time I'm trying to explain that in English, but did you understand what I mean, or?
I'm not 100% clear.
Okay.
It's isolating the blue wire. It's eliminating the blue wire from the circuit.
From the equation of the amp draw.
Exactly.
So you turn the load auxiliary off.
Yeah.
And by turning it off, it sends the 8 amps or 9 amps all to the one circuit you're testing.
Exactly.
Takes the blue wire out of it. If not, if you don't do that, then as soon as you light up another wire, you split your current. So you
The blue. Yeah. Otherwise, the blue wire is always activated, and so so that's the only way that you can isolate the system is by using that function.
Yeah, you are right on. That's exactly the purpose of that button.